I'm just here going back to a new Simpsons video, and we're back with a new re-reviewing of my favorite Simpson episodes, and this is another good episode I enjoy in the early seasons of The Simpsons. Again, this is a season 5 episode. Sometimes, I always forget that this is from season 5. Yeah, whenever I think of this episode, most of the time I forget that it is from season 5. So yeah, definitely an early season Simpson episode. But yeah, it's another good one of mine. And it starts with this video montage thing that we see with Homer and Marge. And yeah, it's pretty funny that Bart is wanting to do it for sew this at Show and Tell. But of course, Marge isn't so sure about sewing this to his classmates. And yeah, it even showing Bart on the toilet. Little Bart on the toilet. And yeah, Marge is like, why don't you take this potato? And say things of how ordinary, how unique potatoes are. Which, yeah, he's of course not going to do that. Which then he goes to Lisa, needing something for show and tell, and she says to get one of her geodes, which, of course, he picks up different things, not even knowing what the geode is. And, yeah, he gets the geode, and apparently, it seems like everybody's brought in one of them, which, of course, he gets something else, which we see Nelson presenting this canned stuff on Show and Tell, and then Bart sewing his, which everybody think that this is a walking alarm clock, but no, it's Santa's Little Helper, which everybody is loving it, even Mrs. Krabappel, even giving Santa's Little Helper Martin's cookies. And again, everybody is loving it, and Martin is trying to present his geodes, but everybody's focusing on Santa's Little Helper. Even Willie's seeing Santa's Little Helper, and Bart puts him away, and later on, he smells something in the cafeteria that Lunch Lady Doris is doing. And yeah, it goes into the air vents, and Ralph is trying to get Miss Hoover to say that there's a dog in the air vents. And yeah, Skinner talking to Superintendent Chalmers, and yeah, Willie telling Skinner about a dog and air vents, and yeah, being licked, and tells Willie that he has to go in there and get him out. And yeah, he goes and gets greased up to Lunch Lady Doris and gets greased up, and he goes into air vents, and Skinner doing the tracking, which yeah, Santa's Little Helper licks groundskeeper Willie's feet, and yeah, the kids are throwing stuff at the air vents. Yeah, and yeah, get Santa's Little Helper, and of course, yeah, very high up, which eventually having the fire department to come, which, why are the police here anyway? Because the police are just playing basketball. And of course, Superintendent Chalmers comes, saying that Skinner is in big trouble, and yeah, when Santa's Little Helper falls onto his arms, he's like, all is forgiven. Until Willie falls on top of Chalmers and tells Skinner that he's fired. Yeah, Principal Skinner, or Skinner now, he's fired. Or Seymour, right? Because we know that he's Seymour. His actual name is Seymour. And yeah, Bart actually is kind of feeling guilt, as Lisa would say, because he actually feels bad about getting Skinner fired. And yeah, we see this tick or spider that's on his head as well. And yeah, Homer decides to take the dog, thinking that he can get fired by taking the dog to work, and then he tries to take Maggie to work. And yeah, Superintendent Chalmers introduces the new principal, which looks like it's this very aggressive guy, but no, he introduces the actual principal, and it's Ned Flanders. Yeah, Ned Flanders is going to be the new principal. And yeah, Bart and Milhouse are at the Quickie Mart, and they see Skinner at the Quickie Mart, and of course he apologizes to Skinner about getting him fired, which he actually says is quite alright, and he can now start working on this novel, which, yeah, Apu is doing a backlash at him and yelling about how how the plot of Skinner's novel has already been done, and just nobody would be interested in it. Kind of ruined the whole thing for him. And yeah, Bart has apparently been sent to Ned Flanders' office at the school for 11 times. And yeah, Skinner at the laundromat at the vending machine, and yeah, sees Bart of how the school is going. And yeah, even saying about coming to his house, which he has this flashback of if he knows where his house was. And yeah, Jimbo and the others take his underwear, which, of course, he doesn't have any money. And he, of course, said he really needed those, which Bart, again, feels more bad. And, yeah, goes over to Skinner's house, sees Skinner's mom, and, yeah, goes into Skinner's room. And we see these medals and these army stuff, even this army picture of Skinner. And yeah, them having a good time with each other, and even going to Luigi's as well. And yeah, the whole place is a mess in this school. And Martin, though, he is being locked in a cage hanging from the ceiling. And yeah, Bart is, of course, just saying that he just feels awful about this and that they need to get Skinner back. And yeah, Skinner does walk past the school, which, of course, yeah, he then remembers different things were told from him, and, of course, is upset. But yeah, you have to feel bad for Skinner, though. And then Bart goes back to Skinner's place, and his mom gives Bart this note, showing that he has been re-enlisted in the United States Army. Sincerely, Sergeant Seymour Skinner. So yeah, Skinner goes back to the Army. And, yeah, of course, Bart goes to Luigi's alone. And I don't know why. Skinner always seemed like a person that really does fit the Army, though. Right? He definitely is a person that really does fit the Army. That you would see. I mean, yeah, I've had family members that I never exactly saw before in my life, because they died before I was born. But that were in the Army, like in the Navy and stuff. So at least I can relate with family members that were in the Army or Navy, you know, war, I would say. Even if I didn't get to see them before they died. But yeah, Marge and Homer are concerned about how Ned is doing the school, and Ned is just talking about, and so in his flashback of how his dad treated him, of this mistake that he did, and remember Ned's mom and dad being like these poetry people, and yeah, Skinner leading his troops, and yeah, Lisa saying that she thinks that Bart does need Skinner because everybody needs an enemy. I mean, look at Maggie. She has the enemy with the one eyebrow baby, which yeah, Maggie just looked angrily at. And yeah, Skinner sees Bart coming into the bombs area, and yeah, they turn the bombs to hit somewhere else, which yeah, we see Apu's store getting all these different gas pumps, and of course we don't see it on screen, but we hear the bombs coming down, and when Bart and Skinner is talking, we see one of the signs of the Quickie Mart coming down. So yeah, it blows up the Quickie Mart. And yeah, Bart is wanting Skinner back, which of course, yeah, the different troops are making fun at Skinner. And yeah, Skinner then tells Bart if he comes back, they can no longer be friends, unless if he's a good student. And Bart says, you know, that's very unlikely. But again, agreeing. And yeah, of course Homer is coming along as well to join. because, you know, he's definitely going to want to get Ned fired. Which, yes, Chalmers sees Bart shows Superintendent Chalmers direct that Ned has been doing. And look at Martin still just going crazy. Which, yeah, Superintendent Chalmers has nothing wrong with this until when he hears Ned on the intercom and on the prayer, which, yeah, of course, Superintendent Chalmers won't allow that in his school and fires Principal Ned Flanders. And yeah, Skinner gets his job back, and yeah, they say that they're enemies once again. And of course, he puts a sign on Skinner, kick me, and then he puts a sign on Bart's back as well. Yeah, a really good episode I do enjoy, though. We actually do see Bart actually feeling bad and trying to help and convince Skinner to get his job back as well. Again, very rare times that we actually see Bart actually have a conscience. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. Let me know in the comments below. See you next one.